شلاملخ مريم مليخ طيبوثة نارا عماخ مريخات المشي وموريخ بيرت خرسيغي شو مات مريم يلدت آلها صلح لا بين حطاهي هاشا وشاف الموثين آمين. أيوسون صبرية سور صبرية.
My name is Sabria, Sister Sabria, and I was the general economist last year. Right now I'm taking a rest here in Rome, and later I'll return to Iraq to work in Qaraqosh, where I've been destined, where I've been assigned. I hope that it goes well and that I may understand and work with the people again.
Altra volta. La nostra congregazione si chiama
The name of our congregation is Dominican Sisters of St. Catherine of Siena, and it began in 1887 in Mosul, Iraq. The whole community is made up of 116 sisters. Before the displacement, our mother house was in Mosul, where there was close to 50 sisters. We had another convent in Mosul and two more in Talkeif, Batnaya, Bakufa, Teleskov, Qaraqosh. Moreover, we have Qaraqosh, Bartala, Bashika. In the north, we have communities in Ankawa, in Shikhan, and Kirkuk. In Baghdad, we have 4 convents. We've left 13 houses and 10 projects. So a total of 23 convents and projects. So many in Nineveh, on the plain of Nineveh, as it is called.
La situazione prima del 2103.
The situation before 2003 was very good. After the fall of the old regime of Saddam Hussein, there was great confusion and disorder in all situations and on every level. We lost all order. It was then when we began to have a lot of problems with the Muslims. We don't know how, but they came about this way. They were not like that before. After 2003, everything fell apart. We began to have problems with them at work, in the hospitals to find work, and with documentation. All of these problems appeared after the fall of Saddam's regime. When the regime fell, like I said, we don't know. All of a sudden, a great deal of violence came about. We don't know why. Yet, there were certain interventions on behalf of Iran and Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, there are Sunnis and Shiites, because there are 2 Muslim sects in Iraq. The Shiites and the Sunnis are against each other because each sect has its interests. Saudi Arabia's and Iran's interventions caused this confusion.
Arabia Saudita e Iran ha fatto questa confusione. Questo giorno era la festa della trasfigurazione del Signore.
That day was the feast of the Transfiguration of our Lord. At 4 o'clock in the morning, we heard a lot of bombing. We went calmly to Mass in spite of the bombardment. After Mass, we returned to have breakfast with the sisters, but the bombardment continued on for almost the whole day. The people thought, what happened? What is this bombardment about? In the morning, we heard a bomb which was dropped in front of one of the houses and caused the death of a young woman and 2 children. They died in front of that house, and the bomb also caused many injuries. Many other houses were also destroyed because of that bomb. The young woman that passed away had gotten engaged that day. In the afternoon, after the funeral, the people were very afraid and began to think about leaving as the situation was becoming more tense. So around 7 o'clock, we heard voices and noise of the people that were leaving. I did not think that we sisters would end up leaving. We decided not to leave and to not abandon the people. We decided around 11 o'clock, almost midnight, because we had received many phone calls from people who said, "Sisters, you have to leave because the situation is very dangerous for you." So we got ready quickly to leave.
Allora abbiamo cominciato di preparare di uscire.
So we, all of the sisters, took a few sandwiches and left by car. We did not bring anything, just some clothes and a small suitcase. Some families came with us. We left at midnight. We saw a mass of people. My goodness, so many. All of the cities and towns came out from Qaraqosh, Bashika, Bardala, and other towns. From the other part, the north, Talkaf, Bakufa, Badnaya, Taiskuf, all of them came out by this route. We saw several people in cars. There were so many ways of leaving, by bicycle, walking, many ways. There were children, elderly, sick, handicapped, everyone. It was truly a dark and dangerous night. A dark, dark night. In the heat of August, without water or anything. It took almost 10 hours to leave. It usually took only 40 minutes to get to Ankawa. And we took 10 hours. There were so many problems at the security checkpoints upon entering Kurdistan. We got lost because we didn't know where to go. We didn't know. We went towards the unknown, northbound. We had no idea where we were heading. Everything was unknown to us. We got on track again, our hair and clothes full of dust.
Allora hanno cambiato la strada e poi siamo uscite con polvere tutti i nostri capelli, i vestiti, tutto.
Our sisters were waiting for us. We have a convent in Ankawa, and our sisters received us with cries and tears. They were all crying. Thanks be to God, they were with us during this very difficult night. People also arrived who were dispersed in houses, in the streets, gardens, convents, schools, and churches. Thousands and thousands of people. Thousands came out. So we all arrived very tired. We rested a little bit, and the next day we began to see how to gather the people so dispersed.
Abbiamo cominciato il lavoro, dobbiamo così lasciare la gente così dispersi.
We went everywhere. We sisters went 2 by 2 to the camps, schools, churches, streets, and gardens. Some were sick, others injured. There were so many problems. We saw so many needs. People sleeping in the street, waiting for water and food because they had not brought anything with them from their homes. We left everything. Everything they had, they left behind. Houses, furniture, money, gold, everything. They left everything. When the people arrived, little by little, we gathered them together. And we all prayed together with our bishop and the priests. We prayed, we celebrated Mass. We had not brought an altar cloth. So one of the sisters cut her scapular and placed it on a small table. That is how we celebrated Mass in the garden. The people wept, saying, God, O Lord, why have you done this? God, where are you? They've suffered so much. We were in that situation for almost 3 months. The sisters, our sisters, when we arrived at Ankawa, they took us in at the convent. And as there wasn't enough space for all the sisters, some went to the seminary of Chaldee. The patriarch there received us with great joy. We were there almost 3 months until we could prepare a number of caravans that we put in our patio. Even now, the sisters live in the caravans because we were so many. Almost 62 sisters had to leave. We fled from all the locations in the plain of Nineveh. And so we were distributed among the convents and the seminary. And Daesh arrived in Qaraqosh at 5 in the morning that day on the Transfiguration. It entered and took over control of Qaraqosh. That moment can never be forgotten. As well as our community, there were 2 others in Qaraqosh. A community of Franciscans, composed of only 3 sisters, and another of Saint Ephrem, a Syrian community. They called them so they could leave with us. They got into their cars and came with us the whole way until we reached our convent. And we took these sisters into our convent. And after a little bit of time, they found a place to stay.
Hanno trovato un posto per alloggiare. Poi piano piano abbiamo potuto sistemare.
Later on, little by little, we gradually found lodging for them with the help of the bishop and the people who helped us and the priests. It was really a very, very strong collaboration, and we were able to distribute the people in camps in an ordered way, in schools, athletic fields, and caravans, and things like that. And the church began to ask for help from abroad, and help came. Thanks be to God and to those benefactors, churches, and people who collaborated with us. They showed great solidarity to us during that very difficult time. We began to plan how to distribute and use the aid. We bought water, blankets, clothes for the women and children, everything new, because they had nothing. They had to start their life from scratch. So we started to get all of these things ready and to serve the sick, the children, and the elderly, to help them with their many needs. So we began to get everything ready. And even till now, the sisters are with those who have been displaced. They have accompanied them to all the towns where they have dispersed. We went with them 2 by 2 to accompany them and not to leave them alone, so that they would not feel so dispersed, because perhaps that would make their faith waver. They might lose their faith in God, in the Christian community, and in the church. That is why we endeavored to be with them. They went to Kurdistan, to the cities of Duboc, Suleymaniya, Erbil, Ankawa, Shaklawa, and many other towns farther away. That way they found places to live.
Hanno trovato un posto per vivere. Lavoriamo tutta la giornata, le suore.
We work all day long because there's so many needs to be close to them, to be with them. So we begin our day with prayer in the convent. Then we have Mass, and afterwards, the sisters went to the camps, 2 by 2, together with the priests and the young volunteers. During the first 3 months, they prepared food for the whole community. The young people, the sisters, and the priests gave out the food to everyone, for everybody that was there. After 3 months, they made their meals themselves. In the early afternoon, the sisters returned to the convent for lunch and then go out again until night. All this time, we worked and worked and worked from morning to night. Later, we prayed evening prayer in community, because we have to pray this in community. The people trusted in the sisters very much, and the prayers of the sisters. They always asked us for many things to ease their problems. They expected a lot from us, a lot. All day long, we were occupied helping them, all day long, on so many levels, both spiritually and on a social and humanitarian level. The sisters took care of everything for them. They continue to have great respect for the sisters, for the priests, for the church. They have a great trust. They have confidence in the church as their mother, a mother that helps us. Therefore, they ask us for many things, because they consider us as true people. That is what they think of us. because they have been our students from school, from First Communion class. They have all been taught by the sisters. The sisters have been with them their whole lives. They know the sisters very well.
E così sanno le suore molto bene. Veramente questo per noi era un guaio.
Truly, this has been a great tragedy because in a short space of time we have lost 18 sisters. That is not normal at all. The sisters were very, very worried. They were always concerned about the people. They saw how the people suffered this terrible situation. Why? Why? They always asked, why, God? Why do you not see these people? Where can they go? What are they to do? What are they going to do? One of them was almost 82 years old, and she asked me, Sister Sabria, let me go with you to visit the people. I can't bear being here in the convent and the people out there suffering. She cried and cried. Then she came with me and saw the people praying in front of a statue of Our Lady. Everybody. We gather everybody to pray in the square. And she, seeing this, oh my goodness, she said. She returned to the house and cried and cried and wrote some words on a piece of paper that she then placed in the closet. When she died, we read what she had written. I can't bear this. The people's suffering. I prefer to die in place of them. We really had forgotten about our own health, about ourselves. We didn't think about anything, only in the people, so that they be faithful to their faith and conserve this faith that they received from their fathers and mothers. So these elderly religious prayed a lot. They prayed many rosaries during the day. They prayed and prayed. They would wait for us to return to the convent. Tell us, sisters, what have you done today? What have you seen? They wanted to hear from us every day, know what we had done, how the people were doing. We always told them what we had done and seen. The church has been truly concerned for the people, for the sisters and the convent, yet we have not seen the same attitude from the government. Nobody has asked us anything. Nobody has asked us, what do you need? What are you doing? Where are the people? Nobody. Nobody has asked us any of these things. This is what we really... But we have made greater efforts to be stronger than ever. We have worked a great deal and not expecting anything from the government. The church has taken the main role. As I have said, the church has had a particular role because she's been with the people. They were dispersed and bewildered and didn't know what to do, but the church has gathered them and accompanied them. The church has made it possible for the people not to lose their Christian values and their faith. Therefore, we give thanks to God and to the church. And we ask God to conserve His church. The zeal of the priests, of the bishops, and the patriarchs. We give thanks to God and to them for their assistance and attention that they have given to the people.
preparazione, questa attenzione che ha fatto per la gente. Nella preghiera, nella Santa Messa, nel recitare il Santo Rosario.
As I said, prayer, the Holy Mass, praying the Rosary daily with the people in the camps. The sisters do this every day, every day. It was quite a job, a true Christian experience, like the Christians in other ages. These people are like those Christians who greatly suffered in the first centuries. We've suffered as they did, supported by prayer, by the Mass, and the sacraments. In whatever case, we did everything in its correct order. The order we followed was the life of the sacraments. We baptized the children and ministered couples, the sacrament of marriage, the first communions, funerals. We had all the sacraments, thanks be to God. He gave us strength. Truly, we've experienced this faithfulness to the faith, to Our Lady. Prayer strengthens a lot. Only prayer, only prayer has made us so strong. We truly have shared a real cross. We have lived Calvary. You can call it Good Friday. This is how we have lived these moments. We hope to have risen as Christ was raised. For our city, Qaraqosh, she is our deliverer, the deliverer, the Immaculate Virgin. For us, she is a person whom we love very much, very, very much. She has a place in the heart of each person, of the children, of the sick, of the women. We all love her. Upon leaving, we thought, some said to others, "Look, Our Lady is accompanying us. Look how Our Lady is coming with us." And no one died or was lost on the way. Therefore, the Christians and the Muslims see Mary as a sacred person, holy, pure. She truly was our refuge, our destiny, and she has accompanied us and has helped us a lot. It has happened that people have come from Mosul to light candles to Our Lady. They enter the convent and light a candle. So Our Lady has a place in the heart of Christians, especially those in the towns.
La nostra comunità si trova dove si trovano i sfollati.
As I have said, our community is where the displaced are. We have opened small convents, 2 sisters in each house. We have hired many little houses to be closer to the people, to assist them in their needs. In terms of going back to carrying out activity there, we can't make a decision yet, because the situation is completely different. Everything has changed. We can't take decisions. I visited the city after its liberation, and what we have seen is a real disaster. A worse tragedy than before. more than the tragedy of leaving the city. When the people saw their houses, it was horrifying for them. Everything burnt, all the houses burnt, they destroyed them all. So, what should we do? The people deliberate, saying, should we return or not? Who has control of this country? Who will protect us? If there are no police, if there's no one, then they won't return, because they're before us, around us. We are surrounded by those who have made us suffer and have killed us. So, how are they going to return? I don't know. Now we cannot take decisions. What will the church do? What will she do? They're planning, the sisters, the bishops, with the entire church. We don't know what we'll do yet.
Veramente questa è una grande lezione per noi.
Really, it has been a good lesson for us, a great experience, because we've experienced the true cross, living the pain. We truly have lived the sufferings of Christ, but in the end, we have risen as Christ has risen. We have a lot of trust. We have learned not to hold on to many things, not to be worried about food and clothing. We've seen that we can be free from so many material things. God is the only thing we need to hold on to in our lives. Only God. He upholds our lives. In God we are rich. God and Our Lady are our treasures. So I ask those who are listening to be faithful to their faith, to Christianity, faithful to Our Lady, who always watches over us, to have solidarity with those who suffer. This is true Christianity. This is the gospel put in practice. Jesus invites us every day. I was hungry. I was in jail. This is the gospel put in practice. We have lived it. I give thanks to God. We hope that this never happens to anybody. We don't want this to happen to anybody ever. I give thanks to God. I thank you and all who have shared in our sorrow, our suffering. We have truly experienced that we are not alone. There has been so many benefactors throughout the world, so many volunteers from other countries, foreigners that have come to visit and help us out. We want to thank them and you who have taken time to listen to us. Thank you all.
Grazie a voi.